Hey Jen, yes, looking good. I like your plain background. I would just make the caricature and this part bigger, and I would also suggest fitting the text into the negative space. So let's see if I can do that without. I'm going to put all these. I'm going to put all of these layers into a folder so I can move it at the same time. So you just select them and click. Yeah, okay. So yeah, what I would do is since this is the main event, it needs to be quite a bit bigger. So I would just, select it all and make it bigger. It needs to kind of be close to 1/3 of the size. So I'd do something like this. And then I would make the background bigger to support it. So again, I would do the transform tool, and I would just make it bigger, so the guy can fit on the platform. Something like that. And then, of course, it needs to be moved up and over. Just always think of how to create, unity and variety. You could even dim part of it back, but again, even it could go down more. You don't need to see the whole thing. I think that's actually more interesting. Let me see. You could do it like put it over there. Put it like that. Anyway, it's all about moving, adding, subtracting. It's just really a lot of editing and trial and error. Move it here, and then what you could do is move the text around into into the negative space. So let's see, where's here? That is. So then you could do something like that. Where's Roy? And where's the Rhapsody one? There's a little bit of a problem with the Rhapsody. So again, maybe that needs to be a little bit smaller. The text is pretty big anyway. Let's see if I can move, moving Roy over just a little bit. So what you could do is just make the text smaller and fit it into the negative space. And you can use different fonts for each one. You don't have to use the same one. Let me see if I can make it. Usually I can't do any adjustments to the text if I don't have the font. See, I'm just going to say okay. It's actually, it's actually Rocking Rhapsody Roy, so that could actually fit better up there. Again, let's see if we can move this guy down. Because then if we do this and move the background down, more like that is fine. Where's that folder? Again, it's just really about doing a lot of editing. And then you have a little bit more space. So you can put rockin', you can put that here, and then you could put the Rhapsody part up here and then you have some room to make it bigger, right? Where's Roy? And then you can put Roy, down here somewhere. You might want to try a different font for Rhapsody. Then it would have a little bit more tenor. And again, there's a lot of negative space though. That's something that might, could maybe be dealt with. Maybe add I mean, adding musical notes tends to get so corny looking, but maybe add something here, or you can really move the text even more down. That's another way to deal with it. You don't want too much negative space, but then again, see, then you're running into the problem of it. Could do it like this, though. Can move it way down here. And then you could fit this in here. No, that's kind of going to mess up the unity as well. So I would just probably maybe use a different font so it could be squeezed in here a little bit more. And then keep the Roy up here. But maybe you could add some other graphics to the background. I mean, you've already kind of, well, I don't know what that's from. Oh, that's probably just the pixelated. You could always add some, you know, layer effects. So like if you go up into filter, there's so many of them, right? There's some corny ones, but there's some actually kind of cool ones. I'm just looking. I don't use these a whole bunch just because, you know, like a lens flare. Now this is corny, but sometimes it can actually add something cool. So if you put it over here, then we can look at what other ones they have here. It's not doing a very good job to, no. Oh, well that's, I mean, it's kind of hokey, but it's not that bad because then you know you have your negative space right around in here someplace. It doesn't have to be that bright, or it could be bright. I mean, this could look really hokey. Yeah, it kind of does. But yeah, that's not that great of an idea. You know, even the Control Z, you could try it again though. Let's see what other filters there are here that would look good in there. Render. You know, you could add some lighting effects. I mean, this is really cool. I know we didn't discuss much of this, but it's actually really cool. Like, and I'm not saying to use this one. This is the one that just defaulted up. But you've got, there's so many spotlights. And what you can do is move this. This looks bad. Again, all these have handles. And you can move the angle of the light. You can do all kinds of stuff with it. And actually we'll add a spotlight to your, and there's another spotlight, there's another one. Let's see. And there's all these other lighting effects too that you might want to play with. You know, you can start sliding this stuff. I don't know, let's see what this looks like when I close out of here. It can look really corny. Texture, ambience, metallic, colorize. Anyway, you can kind of get an idea of what it's, you know, how to use these. They're kind of cool. Let's just see what it looks like. It might look horrible, so I'm going to say okay. Oh, it made everything black though. That's too bad. I hate when it does that. Oh, I need to have changed that. So, but again, you can fix that so it doesn't look black. You know, and you could put the spotlights on the ground looking up. I mean, you could even add a little spotlight to the background and have it cast, you know, cast like a shadow and cast like a light beam. You know, you could look at, you know, something like these kind of spotlights. That would work to add something in that negative space, you know, if you wanted to. But even you could get something that's transparent in the background, so it, you know, it'd be a lot easier to, but again, even if you use something like one of these, you can delete the background out as well. So you have, it's pretty, you know, easy to stick it in there. But anyway, those are my suggestions. Yeah, I would just continue to working. I think the caricature is great. You know, not really too much changes. I mean, you could add something like a glow to the arms. That always kind of adds a little bit of emphasis. Like here, you know, you can go up into the layer styles and, you know, just create like a outer glow. And again, that's just a nice way to kind of just add a little emphasis. And you can make the spread a little bit bigger so it kind of looks like it's glowing. You know, something like that even, and then you can lower the opacity. So you know what I'm saying. And then what this will do is it just makes it look like it'll add a little bit of emphasis, and it creates a little bit of depth so it doesn't look so flat on the you know, on the background. Okay, so anyway, I hope you found this useful, and yeah, let me know if you want any more feedback before the final submission. Okay.